Thomas, you ready? Yeah, Marcus. Everybody's good? Good evening. Oh, sorry. Most important person to check with, and we got it started. Thank you for coming and thank you for your patience. We know we're a little bit late, so we apologize for that. Would you please join us? We'll have captain Sarah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That brings us to the superintendent's report.
All right. Well, it is wonderful to be here with Lady Dewey. It gives us the opportunity to enjoy some festive music from our elementary students. So, Mr. Rich, I'd like to kick it off to you.
Sure. So, I know many of you already heard some of these songs last night, but we're lucky enough to have our students come back. For those of you that may not have been there, the performance last night was amazing. The kids, the 4th and 5th graders that put on their band and chorus performances, they did such an awesome job. And we just wanted to spread some more holiday cheer with some songs tonight. So I'm going to pass it off to Ms. Basil first for their first songs. Thank you.
1, 2, ready, go.
Who's got a beard that's long and white? Santa has a beard that's long and white. Who comes around on a special night? Santa comes around on a special night. Special night, beard that's white. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Santa Claus. Who wears boots and suit of red? Santa wears boots and suit of red. Who wears a long cap on his head? Santa wears a long cap on his head. Cap on head, suit that's red. Special night, beard that's white. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Santa Claus. Who's got a big red cherry nose? Santa got a big red cherry nose. Who likes this way? Ho ho ho. Santa likes this way. Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. Cherry nose, cap on head, suit that's red. Special night, beard that's white. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Santa Claus. Very soon will come our way. Santa very soon will come our way. A little reindeer pulled his sleigh. Santa's little reindeer pulled his sleigh. Reindeer sleigh, come our way. Ho ho ho. Cherry nose, cap on head, suit that's red. Special night, beard that's white. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Santa Claus. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. Reindeer sleigh, come our way. Ho ho ho. Cherry nose, cap on head, suit that's red. Special night, beard that's white. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Santa Claus. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Santa Claus.
Thank you so much. That was such a wonderful performance. We appreciate you coming. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you for bringing that tonight. Wonderful.
Really wonderful. Great job, boys and girls. Thank you so much. Puts us in the spirit for sure. All right, so we do have a presentation over here. We were really very proud of many of the things we're doing. One of the things that took place recently, we were asked by the New York State Senator Shelley Mayer, who chairs the Education Committee in the New York State Senate, to come visit our school. And the purpose of the visit was really to talk about the good things that we're doing with mental health wellness for students and staff, as well as addressing learning loss in our schools. So we do have, and it's okay, the kids are doing what they're doing, that's all fine, but we're going to show a presentation that was done for the senator, and it was Senator Mayer, Senator Liu, Senator Murray, our local senator, and this is basically a tribute to some of the things and programs that we have and we're offering for our students. So, thank you. You can just hit the video.
Pride ourselves in this school. So that has to be many inclusive programs.
All right, Len, maybe also when we start with July, because we need to put this volume on it. We need volume. You can get as much volume as possible. Is 100 too much? I think we're ready to. I guess we'll try.
We pride ourselves in being a small town with deep roots and global mindset. That has led to cultural care that extends far beyond just children, but also to the adult social sector. We have implemented many inclusive programs that have served to support not only mental health wellness, but also the learning loss that students have experienced since COVID. We really take this idea of creating this culture of care very seriously here in St. Louis. Through an innovative program to support students and being the first international baccalaureate continuing district on Long Island, I believe we've positioned ourselves as a regional leader in public education. People often ask us about our program and what we do for mental health. I often say that it's not a program, but more a philosophy that's embedded in everything we do. To that end, we utilize the CASA framework, collaborative practice, and social and emotional learning, where we not just explicitly teach the 5 components of the CASA framework, but we also reflect on 10 different indicators of SEL implementation in students.
The first indicator is evidence-based SEL programs and practices. We dedicate time regularly for students to practice and reflect upon social and emotional competencies in ways that are not only developmentally appropriate, but culturally responsive. The second indicator is SEL integrated instruction. We strive to incorporate SEL objectives into our instructional lessons and teaching strategies for all of our academics, as well as special areas such as music, art, and physics. The third indicator is youth-based engagement. We seek to empower our students in all ways to use their voices and understand the power of their ideas, to be problem solvers and leaders and decision makers. The fourth indicator is supportive school and classroom environments. Our school and classroom environments must be welcoming and affirming and culturally responsive. The fifth indicator is a focus on adult SEL. We know that it's important for our teachers to take care of their own social and emotional well-being if they are going to be at their best for our students. Building relational trust and maintaining a strong community is essential in this area. Our sixth indicator is supportive discipline. We believe strongly that our discipline policies must be developmentally appropriate, and restorative in nature so that students can learn from their mistakes. Our seventh indicator is a continuum of integrated SEL. In order to meet the needs of students, social emotional learning must be seamlessly integrated into a continuum of supports both academically and behaviorally. Our eighth indicator is authentic family partnerships. We recognize as a district that in order to effectively support students' social, emotional, and academic development, families must be key partners and build relationships with staff so that they can collaborate in the best interests of our students. Our ninth indicator is aligned community partnerships. We value the relationships we have with organizations within our community that help us support our SEL initiatives. Our final indicator is systems for continuous improvement. In our schools, we regularly reflect upon our progress toward establishing a genuine culture of care in all areas and set aspirational goals with action plans for improvement.
All the classrooms in San Martin School District are supported by the International Baccalaureate or IE program. In this program, we teach students about the learner profile attributes. This is a broad range of human capacities and responsibilities that go beyond academic success. They imply commitment of members of our school community to respect life, others, and the world around them.
Nearly 100% of our staff are trained in youth mental health first aid. This training helps adults to understand common mental health challenges in adolescence, and it teaches them to develop an action plan to help young people in both crisis and non-crisis situations. Our elementary school students engage in Harmony SEL lessons. This is a social emotional learning program that helps adults work with youth to cultivate strong relationships between students. Harmony SEL provides our educators with quality lessons and resources to focus on the whole child. We've partnered with many impactful organizations in supporting our students' mental health and wellness. Ambassadors of Compassion, Sweethearts and Heroes, Sources of Strength, and Upstanders are all important experiences for our students that support and supplement our daily instruction focused on the whole child.
They really just help us get through a lot, and if we're ever in a situation that we don't feel comfortable or safe or we're really just stressing out, we can always go to them and they give us coping skills.
My school cared about me because I have a counselor that helps with any problems if I have any, and that my teachers, if there's like a problem like around them, they are fast to react to it.
I feel connected and supported by our school because we have so many options with all the programs and sports clubs,
I love it because I always feel like if I can't tell someone something, I can always go to a teacher and they can help me out with it.
I feel connected and supported in our school because we have a lot of options in the school, and also the teachers are very patient.
The culture has definitely changed since my freshman year and the rest of the 4 years of just positive outcomes. I'd say.
Even in the hallways, kids talking, high fives, it was always a tight knit community, but now it's not just one group against the other one. It's this is my group, it's my group, but versus
I think every single problem that happens or every single fight or drama, everything's resolved and we find the best way to figure it out.
Our strongest asset in cultivating a culture of care is the Board of Education. We have standalone goals around SEL and DEI that are aligned with the New York State SEL benchmarks and the CASEL and culturally responsive sustaining frameworks. This ensures that all students are welcomed and affirmed in their learning environment and supported based on their individualized needs.
I think Submergence has done a great job with making sure that every single group of kids is involved, whether it's in events within the school or with academics, everyone's really involved and kind of brings that social barrier.
When I reflect on whether or not this is working, I really have to think about just some of the things that the kids tell us, because when I meet with students and superintendent's council, they tell me to keep doing this, they tell me it's working. We're striving to create an environment really that sets kids up for success. We understand that until the students feel comfortable and are willing to take risks and take chances, that's really where learning can take place and students can thrive. So we know that by building this safe and welcoming environment, that's the launchpad for students to take off and fly.
Thanks, Len. So this was, it was a really exciting opportunity to bring some notoriety to the district. It was in the local press recently, and we got some great feedback from the senators. I want to thank Mr. Babsey for being there as a board representative, our administrative team, our union leadership, and it was really I think a great event to showcase some of the wonderful things we're doing in Senator Rich's, and certainly was well received. Obviously, part of it was to pick the brain of Senator Mayer and say, hey, we need to keep the funds flowing to support mental health wellness in this state. And certainly she's a supporter of that mission. Really, we were happy to host this one down here. The next presentation, as we all know, we wanted to put out and get some feedback on the bond, on the capital bond. So we utilized Thought Exchange for that. So we're going to go through a brief presentation. And the interesting thing about this presentation, and you can see the format of it doesn't resemble formats that we typically use at Submergence. The reason being is because this is pure. This is something that was actually generated by the AI in the program. And so we took the information from the program because, again, we wanted it to come from what Thought Exchange is telling us about it. So some of the comments, what you'll see, are very interesting and very raw. If you could continue, please. Ultimately, it was about 121 participants with 111 individual distinct thoughts, but almost 2,300 engagements, meaning people were able to rate the thoughts so that then we could utilize that as data to generate the information you'll see. On here, you can see the percentage. About roughly half were parent guardians, staff, faculty, students, and community members also chimed in. Of the responses, you can see the breakdown between Clayton Huey, the middle school, high school district office, and none of the above. Some are just community in that. I'm gonna get a little closer because I can see it from here, even with my new glasses. You might not be able to read this, but basically this is the kind of stuff. These are key thoughts, and this is how the ratings came out. We basically use this to say that the ratings had to have either 4 stars and upwards of 30 people had to rate, or 25 or more had to rate. Otherwise, it's kind of throwaway, because if somebody throws an idea out there and in all these ratings, only 3 people rate it, it's not really reliable data. But when 25 or more people rated it and it, or, you know, and hit a 4 or above, we wanted to make sure that that was out there. Basically, this is the kind of raw feedback we got from our community. The committee and board need to understand that a nearly $50 million proposal is a very large expenditure for this community to incur. Notwithstanding, there are other wealthy individuals. Most residents are of modest means and pay high property taxes. So that's an honest comment that received out of the 28 a 4.4 rating, which is very, very high. So real honest feedback that a lot of people in this exchange agreed with. The turf is expensive and should not be used, and chemically harmful to students. 28 people also rated that, and that's a 4.3. I could have supported a small-scale bond to replace necessities like boiler, roof, curb. Most of the rest seem more like a Christmas wish list. So comments like that to say, hey, you know, you can't just ask for everything. You really should just be focused on the infrastructure and the things that are most necessary. And so that's the kind of feedback. Glenn, if you could continue, please. Thank you. Thoughts on the turf field. You can see basically that all of these comments, will make this available. In the interest of time, I'll go a little bit quicker through it. Again, talking about turf field, all of these were 23 to 28 ratings, basically all saying that the turf field is not something we should include in this. As you know, the turf field was a second proposition, so certainly it was something that the first had to pass before it needed to be a consideration. So we kind of knew that going in, but we did put it up because there were people on our bond committee that wanted to see that go in terms of the athletics. As far as money, so now we're in buckets and we're talking about specific things. Money is a thought. Focus money on school buildings and education. We do not need to spend money on turf. 4.1 rating. Fixing or repairing the school's interior first, along with the roof, before even touching anything outside of sports related. So those are the kinds of thoughts that we're consistently getting, that we need to be focusing on the necessary things to keep school functioning and educational needs. So focusing on education, focusing on infrastructure, clearly are the things, next slide please, that are most important. Thoughts on a bond in particular. And again, raw comment. Whoever thought putting out a bond this expensive is out of touch with reality and the ability of the community to afford this. This is in particular up here and strikes a nerve because we're going back 18 years and they specifically call out a 38% tax increase that was put upon this community 18 years ago. Despite a different board, despite different administration, this community still remembers a time when a significant 38% increase prior to tax cap came in. And so there's a trust element there that we can see. Limiting increases, obviously, limit the increases. They were asking for way too much. Provide more transparency about actual cost of taxpayers. All of these things, I think, are important notes that people brought up. Next. Space. We need updated basics like boiler roof ceilings, arts, learning space, auditorium is important as well. That was a 3.6, but only 2 people rated that. So clearly it wasn't, and we put that in there just to demonstrate that if only 2 people rate it, even though it's a 3.6, it doesn't carry a lot of weight. Auditorium is in desperate need of repairs. 20 people agreed with that one, 3.4. Next. Are we still going? Oh. Thoughts on vote yes. I will vote against the referendum and proposed again. Again, that one's not clarified. It doesn't say if it was reduced. It doesn't say if it was just put up. But clearly, I think that if it was just put up again, it would not pass. People without children in the district are never going to vote yes to higher taxes. The strategy is to get the parents informed. So this is advice I'm saying you need to engage with parents better if you want to get this passed. Not enough people understood the state reimbursement information. Despite direct mailings, despite conversation that every presentation we did, people still clearly didn't understand that part of it. So, just some good information. Like I said, that's kind of raw data. That's not stuff that we picked out, we picked and chose. This is what the algorithms in the artificial intelligence pointed to us and really developed this presentation. We just kind of said, well, tell us about this, tell us about that. And so a real powerful tool to be able to see what those interactions are, see how many people actually engage with it, and really gives us a lot of data to go by. Our bond committee will be meeting again on Monday, December 18th, to go over these responses, and we will present a revised bond proposal in January. We anticipate that if the community says, focus on the infrastructure, focus on the things that are most important, we would make a recommendation to the Board of Education to move forward with a smaller bond that really meets the needs of our school community. And then we will put that, again, make a recommendation tomorrow. Any questions to the board?
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's, Karen, do you have anything? Nope. Would you want to add anything? Did I miss anything?
All right, that leaves us to questions and comments regarding tonight's agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry, go on.
What was the sample size?
What did you say at the beginning? It was the first slides I read. It was 200. It was those numbers I gave on the first slide. Off the top of my head, I just don't remember. The first slide, Carmen?
120
Oh,
120 participants.
And you have the demographic breakdown.
Yeah, that's what I showed you in the first couple. Yeah, and you can break this down into see the whole.
We'll post this up on the bottom.
Questions and comments regarding tonight's agenda? There is an opportunity to speak at the end of the meeting about anything. If you would like to, if you could just come up, there's a book there for the sign, we would appreciate it. Financial reports be resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, accepts the following financial reports. Internal Claims Audit Report, December 2023. Student Activity Treasurer's Report, October 2023. Treasurer's Report, October 2023. Budget Transfer number 9. Motion?
Motion.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes? Motion carries unanimously. Consent agenda approval. Be resolved, a motion to approve the consent agenda items 8A through 12A. Motion?
Motion.
Second? Discussion?
The policies. Let's see, food service program, which is a question. And then there's a section about no sweetened foods being sold during the school day. Do we have machines or anything that dispense something like that? How is that controlled?
There's vending machines that Whitson's owns, it's part of the program, but it all stays within our wellness policy.
So the food that's in there meets the guideline?
Mhm.
Okay. And the other question regarding that policy was it mandates a food safety program?
Yes.
Where do we stand with that? Is that a policy or?
Yeah, that's required under the USDA rules and child nutrition, SED child nutrition, which they come and they audit that stuff. Every 3 years, we have triannual audits with that from SED. So everything's in compliance.
That's already been in place?
Yeah, and they hold that within the kitchen.
Okay. That's all I have, thank you.
Under 10, business and finances, letter C, the budget increase. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
So that basically, when we had to go to the capital repair to fix Clayton Huey, was that was no, excuse me, the mold in the library, right? That was in insurance, covered that. So we received insurance payments on that. Basically, because we received that, revenue increased. So we increased our expense by the same amount of that revenue that came in, so that we can pay the vendor. So there is no vote to increase budget actually. It's sort of
It's a budgetary adjustment on the expenditure side, because we can't just take it as regular revenue.
Right.
So we have to increase that particular line for the equal amount.
almost like flow-through.
We were hoping that the goal was insurance to pay the vendor directly, but they throw the money from the West. So we did this one.
So no real.
There's no expense. The only expense in the district was the $5,000 deductible.
Okay.
And we didn't increase budget.
I just have a question on items 10, E, disposition of equipment, records, and books. I must have missed out those links. What were the things that were generally disposed?
So we had a washing machine break up in the athletics department. We had a refrigerator fail and it was no longer fixable in the high school cafeteria, of which we received a grant to replace that one. And then some computer items I believe were on here, as well as some additional furniture, desks and chairs. So just so you know, also once we dispose of these items, we do auction them off. We have an auction website and it opens up for auction for 2 weeks. We have been successful in selling most of our items. We had a golf cart a few months ago that we disposed of that was irreparable. We didn't have the keys to it, didn't work. And we ended up selling it twice because the first person never came to pick it up, so we were able to get it again. And we made about $2,000 off of that sale. The person that buys it is responsible to come and remove it from property as well. So the refrigerator, for instance, we are going to auction it. If somebody buys it and removes it, so that we can put the name on it.
I just have a question about the purchasing policy. It says specific names in there. Shouldn't that be more of a general thing?
No, it's supposed to have our specific names.
Okay.
Yes. So as those positions change, it gets updated for that.
Good? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. That brings us to general public comment. Anyone? No? Okay, our next Board of Education meeting is January 10th, 2024. Exec session will be at 6, action meeting at approximately 7 o'clock in the district office boardroom. We are going to motion into executive session. The purpose, when we come out, we are not going to take any action. So, but we are going to motion to move into executive session to discuss the employment or medical or financial history of a particular person, collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law, matters leading to the appointment of a particular person, seeking legal advice from the board's attorney. Motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Yes, motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for performing for us tonight. It was wonderful. Is that a